price was down here somewhere. This was my initial trade on the 1 minute chart, right? So again, we're shorting above the weekly opening price, and I actually got stopped out here. You can't see it here, but I did get stopped out. So that was my first initial trade, right? So I took a loss about $300 there. Right, so this is my first entry, maybe a little bit short. So again, stop loss above 67.92, targeting 67 entry at 67.87. So that represents this. Now, I want to make something clear that just because you take a loss doesn't mean that the level is invalidated. For me to take this level as invalidated, I would need price to essentially break and then retest here. And then we would see price claiming as demand. I will happily take that loss. But we didn't see that, because if I keep breaking down the order flow, if I go to the ATAS platform and break this down for traders so they can see and understand, this level held as demand, and now price came to this level and we held pretty damn strong as supply. Right, the reason this held as supply is because yes, we broke below. Notice how we have aggressive sellers that broke below the broke below the level. So it shows you sellers are actually in control. Sellers are actually in control of the price. Right, we see a high volume break, and we had a retest on the 5 minute retest here. This was a retest, so I got stopped out. I just re-entered the trade. Right, so my re-entry was I think here. So my re-entry was around 18 whatever it was, so about 10:15 Eastern at 67.87, stops just below this zone over here. That was about a 2-hour risk to reward, so very good trade, right? Very good trade this one was, right? So again, let's look at this. We had aggressive buyers. Look at that number over there. That says 304 for 621, so it's 623, so it's about 300 to 600, double the amount of aggressive buyers and sellers, right? So what does that tell you about who's in control of the price? Because if we have aggressive buyers here and we're unable to break above this level, such a clean rejection of this level, we broke below with the body. There was my first entry, right? We came in, I sat in a little bit of drawdown, and we broke below my entry again. Look at what was going on over here. 285 for 383. 189 for 203, 81 for 197, 0 for 83, finished auction, right? Finished auction. Zeros all across here shows you that this level is basically disliked between buyers and sellers, right? Buyers and sellers do not want to trade at this price. This is why order flow is powerful, because order flow can tell you where a reversal is more likely to be, and it can also tell you which direction the reversal is going to go. So it's kind of nice, right? Because that's what every trader is trying to do. Break and retest, reversal, bounce, rejection, support, resistance, trend line. It's all kind of the same thing. It all comes down to basically catching a reversal, a break and retest. So break and retest itself is break, retest, enter after the break. So enter here, right? 67.87. Going back test 67.92 to about 87.86. Go and back test that on ES. Go and back test it on the order flow. Go and see how this market actually worked, right? Aggressive buyers over here failed on 1-2 occasions. That is the reason the market moved down, right? Because essentially what you had was large aggressive buyers, but no follow through. They could not break above this level. We broke below the level. We broke below the initial break here. So who is in control at this level? Who is actually dictating price? It's the sellers, right? Passive sellers, right? Passive sellers are propping up here. Passive sellers are propping up here. And that is the reason we had another really good meltdown, right? So again,